Anyway, God showed me a shaking that's coming, and it's coming to Europe, and it's going to affect this company. And this is it. Jesus used the term rumours of war. The word rumour means threat. I just sense in the spirit strongly, there is a very strong threat of war coming to Northern Europe. It could be in 22, 23, but it's coming. I feel in the spirit, and it's coming in the area of the Baltic, Latvia, Estonia. And this has not come because I've been feeding on news articles. I received this in the presence of God. There's going to be a skirmish between NATO and Russian forces in that area, and the whole world's going to lose its breath, going to hold its breath. And the armed forces in this country and the reserve forces are going to be mobilized, and fear is going to hit this country. I feel the fear of the Lord, not the fear of man. Right now I feel the fear of the Lord. I feel the trembling. Fear is going to be huge. The whole of Europe and the whole of this country is going to be, the people are going to talk about nothing else. It's going to shake everything. People are going to be shaken to the core, and much of the church is not going to have a clue what to say. And we're going to face a threat of war, and we've never faced a threat on our homeland since 1939 to 45. But it's not going to come to war. It's going to come close. It's going to be like the Cuban Missile Crisis. I think that was in the late 60s. 62 was it, before my time. It's going to be like the Cuban Missile Crisis type tension, but Northern Europe, and it's going to happen quite quickly, and people are going to be scared, very scared. It's going to shake the country, it's going to shake everything. And it will die down, and people will hold their breath, but then the Lord showed me what's coming next is Germany is going to become remilitarized. Prior to the wars of the last century, Germany was a militarized nation, and it hasn't been since, understandably why. Germany is going to militarize fast. Germany and France are going to form an alliance. Germany is going to be the head of it. It's going to militarize. And I felt the Lord say Germany will be part of one of the kings of the north. That's mentioned in end time scriptures and prophecies that will attack Israel. And yes, I felt the Lord say by the end of this decade, anti-Semitism will be in full bloom across Europe, across the nations. I felt the Lord say that the United States is going to enter its deepest period of constitutional crisis. It's going to be termed a constitutional crisis. There's going to be a massive crisis with this current administration because the stench of it is reaching heaven, and God is going to shake. Well, this is not a partisan statement, and God is going to answer the prayers of the saints in the United States for revival, but it's going to come in a time of huge tension. Well, here in Europe, I felt the Lord say these things are coming, and it's going to change Europe. It's going to completely change the face of Europe. For the church, much of the church will not have an answer during this crisis, and God is going to shake the church. But for those who fear God, those who seek God, He says, I will feed you with my own hand. And I strongly hear Him saying, you must not fear. Jesus said, when you hear of wars and rumours and threats of war, he said, you must not fear. We have to fix our eyes on Jesus. Don't listen to the news. And I was reminded of the account of when Lester Sumrall, who was a man of God in the US who's with the Lord, he was discipled by Smith Wigglesworth. He lived in the UK before the Second World War, and he once went to visit Wigglesworth, and he had a newspaper under his arm, and he knocked on his door, and Wigglesworth went to let him in. He went, what's that? He said, newspaper. Get that out, get that out. I will not have that in my home. Get it out. And that was on the brink of the world about to be turned upside down. So we are not to fear. We are to fear God. We are to be in the secret place. We are to pray, be a house of prayer and seek God. And God is bringing an end-time shaking, but an end-time revival. The end-time revival is in a time of shaking. And we will come through this stronger in Jesus' name. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Give him praise. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.